Hello Year 7, this is Miss Baker. So, sorry I can't be there today for your lesson, but what I want you to do is this task that we've got in front of us. Now, this is a template that I've drawn out for you, and I've attached it to your Firefly task, and you can either print out the blank template and add colour directly onto it, or you may wish to trace the template, or you may wish to create your own design, and all I require is that you use straight lines and edges, because last week we had curved lines and circular shapes, so this week we're going to be sticking with straight lines and edges. And then afterwards, what I want you to do is apply warm colours. Last week we used cool colours such as blues, greens and purples. This week we're going to be using warm colours, and these are our warm colours, colours that remind us of the sun and fire. So, as you can see, I have applied yellow, a light yellow to the background, and as I always do, I drew a border first so I don't go outside the lines. Then, once you've done that, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to start using your different warm colours. And what I want you to do is think about how you're layering the different colours to make interesting colour blends. So I'm going to begin with this rectangular shape in the middle. And I'm going to start off by drawing my border with my orange coloured pencil. And then I'm going to follow that border around, creating a thicker border on the side of my pencil using circular motion. So I'm not pressing down quite as hard as I did with the border. I'm kind of pressing down with a medium pressure. Then I'm following that border around with another border, this time applying even less pressure. So it's a light orange tone. And then as we approach the middle of the rectangle, I'm barely creating any orange tone. And then as we get into the centre, I'm not applying any orange tone. So now we have a yellowy orange rectangle. Then the next thing that we want to do is maybe think about adding another warm colour. So if we add red to this colour, to this square here, start off with our border, use a ruler, follow the border around with a slightly thicker border, creating your medium tone. And when you do this, you're going to end up with some interesting secondary and tertiary colours. So we know that if we add red to yellow, we get a nice orange tone. And then if we're going to apply our red to our orange, we're going to get a tertiary colour called an orangey red. And you can see that here. So what you can see is you can see part of the orange rectangle underneath still. and on this area you can see the yellow tone coming through. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same up here with the red to our triangle. So today is about you becoming more familiar with warm colours, refining your colour blending skills, and remembering how to show tone using colour, so going from light to dark. And it's understanding how overlapping shapes of different colours can create new interesting tertiary colours. Now I'm quite happy with that, but what you could do is you could add even more colour blending and tone by adding colours to the corners of this large square. So what I'm going to do is again draw our border. I'm just going to have tone coming in from the corners, so I don't need to do the border all the way around. However, you can do if you want to, but I'm just going to have it coming in from the corners. Right, so now I'm following that dark tone, that border around, using circular motion on the side of my pencil to create a yellowy orange colour in the corners. And as it moves towards the centre of the circle, I'm going to apply less pressure, so it's showing a nice fade. There we go. We'll do the same with this one down here. I find it easy to rotate my paper rather than lean across my paper. Now, as I said before, you may wish to create a completely different design to me, and that's fine. Just make sure that this week we're using warm colours and we're using straight edges. So it's the opposite to last week's lesson. And if you're not ever sure about what warm colours are or what cool colours are, if you Google the colour wheel, and things to remember are that warm colours remind us of the sun and cool colours remind us of the sea. There we go, so I've got a little orange glow in the corner, and then I'm going to finish that off by adding a red tone to the corner there. So I'm pressing down quite firmly, but then I'm adding less pressure and blending into the orange tone. And you can see I'm still using my ruler. So boys, it's up to you today whether you want to attach your work to the Firefly task. But it's not compulsory. because it's not your actual homework booklet, it's just an exercise. But I'd love to see what you've managed to achieve. So I'm quite happy with that. The only thing I'd like to do now is maybe make a slightly wider tonal range in terms of applying tone to my triangle and my square. So I'm just going to press down a little harder in these corners, but as you noticed, I did use my ruler because I want it to be really neat and refined. But I just wanted a slightly wider tonal range. So if I ever say to you, good work, but please apply a slightly wider tonal range, what that means is there needs to be more of a range of tones. So not just dark, medium, light. There needs to be a wider range of tones to that. And I may even make this corner a bit more of a darker tone of orange, and this one. And this one. So I hope you enjoyed this little lesson, and I also hope that you have a nice and restful half term. Like I said, please do attach your work if you would like some feedback, but it isn't compulsory today. Thank you very much.